everybody, Dan Illman and Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Thursday, May the 25th, race number 6 at Woodbine. It's a quarter claimer going 7/8 of a mile on the Tapeta surface. This race is for 3-year-old fillies. Let's take a look at this group. Please click or scan the QR code for race of the day access on your mobile devices, including free formulator past performances. Mike, the 6 Too Much Vino coming into this race in very good form. She's hit the board in her last 7. She faced an odds-on winner last time out, and she's likely going to be tough again as she stretches out to 7/8.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like first of all, it seems like she's taken to this all-weather surface since they got her up here. She was racing pretty cheaply on the dirt down in Florida over the winter, Dan, but she did win her first start up here going shorter. I guess she ran fine last time. She was along for second without ever looking like she was going to win. But that was a pretty hot horse, and she might have some pace in front of her here.
That's a good segue again, Mike. Time form US pace projector, red bar scenario, fast pace. The 1, the 2, Forest Maiden, Celtic Revival. These horses do have a good amount of speed. Celtic Revival, I think, might be slightly quicker. The 5, Golden Train, I know she set fast fractions 2 starts back, but she didn't break, and she was really urged along to make the lead. I think she could go either way on the pace projector. War's End Kiss is removing blinkers, and I feel the same way about her. I think the 1 and the 2 can be forward. I think the 2 might be able to outsprint the 1.
Yeah, I feel the same way, especially when they've already run against each other a couple of times, Dan. And when you go back and watch those races, it really was Celtic Revival who had the speed in those races and was up there contesting the pace. We've seen a lot of Celtic Revival already. She doesn't win that often, but her speed, I think, does make her dangerous in races like this.
Well, we have seen a lot of Celtic Revival. We haven't seen much of Forest Maiden, only 3 lifetime starts. She was a successful winner of her career debut, and her last race was her first start off a 4.5-month layoff. She was going 5/8 of a mile. She showed speed. She hung in there to finish 3rd. From a fitness standpoint, she probably gained a lot.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm just going to say that she maybe needed that race, and it's not like it was a terrible performance anyway. But I just feel like maybe she needed it. She's also running against a horse in that race, and she's run against that horse twice in a row now, Canadian Sweetheart, who's just on a wicked roll right now. She's won like 5 of her last 6 starts. Her trainers just keep putting her right back in these claiming races, and these horses just cannot beat her. And that was the case in the most recent start with both Celtic Revival and Forest Maiden. They just couldn't get to her in the stretch.
She'll be forwardly placed. She has speed. She goes out for top connections. Kazushi Kimura takes the mount. The 2 is Celtic Revival. She's hit the board in her last 2 starts. She's probably found her level here at the quarter at Woodbine. She showed speed last time out, going 6.5 furlongs. She tired against a horse in this race. After 16 lifetime starts, I've pretty much seen enough. I think her best chance of winning is if she can get to the lead and maybe slow it down, but I think they're going to be hounding her.
Yeah, I didn't really feel like she could really shake loose in here, Dan, although I do feel like if she does, she could be pretty hard to run down. I didn't think she ran poorly 2 starts back over short. She contested that pace the entire way. Canadian Sweetheart came and just ran her over in the stretch, but this filly did do a lot of work on the lead that day. Same thing last time. They just sort of made her race up front, and she couldn't really cope with it.
Thunder Heavy Rain is the number 3. This is going to be her 3rd start of the form cycle. She just hasn't done too much in 2 starts back. Maybe they're slowly racing her back into shape. I needed to see more in either one of her last 2 starts. Maybe she'll get a little bit of a setup. I did like that she showed more tactical speed last time.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they ride her this time, because I feel like if you go back to the race 2 back, I mean, going 5 off the layoff, and she's sort of well back off the pace there. I didn't really want to be too hard on her for that race. Maybe she just really needed it. They come back last time going a little bit longer, and they sort of change up her running style. Maybe that just really blew up in their face. That I think they're going to take her back a little bit this time, and maybe just try to make a run. And if there's pace in front of her, maybe she can take that step forward that she needs to take.
War's End Kiss, the number 4, wintered in the Mid-Atlantic region of the United States, down at Laurel, down at Penn National, racing on dirt. I thought she ran some decent races last year at Woodbine at 2. She does have 1 start this year against a conditioned group of claimers. This is a tougher bunch, apparently. She showed speed. She sat in a loose pocket. She really only didn't finish evenly. She was kind of getting tired at the end of the race. She earned a respectable buyer speed figure. The blinkers come off. I wouldn't be surprised if she takes a step forward. I think her running style fits.
Yeah, she's if nothing else, it feels like she has plenty of upside here, Dan, especially when you go back to the races that she was running as a 2-year-old on this surface, because I feel like she just progressed with every single start. Then she got that maiden win. And granted, she had a really, really good trip when she broke her maiden. But she got that, she could get that kind of trip here too, sort of mid-pack. She got to save some ground. And when she came clear in the stretch, she ran and she won that race easily. After that, they just put her in way too tough in her next start at Woodbine, and then 2 races against better horses on dirt, which I just don't really feel like you're supposed to care about. Second off the layoff now with some pace in front of her. She's got races that suggest she's a contender in here.
It's all about the break for the 5 Golden Train. 2 starts back from the inside post. Her final start of 2022. She didn't break well, and the jockey just put her on a mission. She rushed through along the inside. She set a fast pace, and all things considered, she ran pretty well to be third. Last time off the layoff, she didn't break. She was last. She wasn't much of a factor. A little bit of a rider change here. Maybe she'll get closer to the pace. She has shown some ability. She's a quirky filly. She's the kind, she'll swish her tail in the stretch when she gets obstinate.
Yeah, exactly. And the trouble from the start in some of her races is a real issue as well. We'll see how sharply she breaks here. I mean, she's like a lot of other horses, though, right? I mean, this meet's just getting started. Most of these horses only have 1 start usually, and they're trying to sort of steadily improve with racing. Most of these horses second off the layoff in here, and that's the case with this filly, who also gets more distance to work with. A 5-furlong sprint probably doesn't really work for her.
Too Much Vino has lots of advantages. Speed figure edge. She's the only 2-time winner, facing a group of strict non-winners of 2 life runners. She's hit the board in her last 7. She ran well against a horse that's been red hot. This is her most recent start at Woodbine. Too Much Vino. She's not the best gate horse in the world. She broke a little slow, but she was 4 wide and on the move from the back on the turn. This horse on the lead right now, a Canadian Sweetheart, has just been unstoppable. Too Much Vino gets some class relief in this race, and if she breaks well, I think the 7 will be well within her grasp.
Yeah, I won't disagree with any of that. Your call whether you want to take, some kind of short price on her in here, and it feels like she could be, because I feel like some of that short price that you're going to base it on is based on her races on dirt against really, really weak competition. I don't know. She ran fine when she won up here going 5 off the layoff against another really weak field. I don't know. Did she do a ton of running last time? When I watched that race, I get it. The horse, she was never going to beat the horse that won the race anyway. I don't know. She wasn't flying in the stretch there. To me, she just sort of picked up pieces and got second.
I wonder if this pace gets hot, if a long shot like the 7, a gal for TJ, could kind of clunk up and get a piece at the very least. This is going to be her first start in about 5.5 months, so maybe they're just starting off with her. But she showed a little bit of a kick 3 starts back to graduate. I think her 2 races weren't very good against winners, let's be honest, but I do feel that given the right pace scenario, maybe she can come with a kick. She obviously needs to improve from a speed figure standpoint. I'm hoping that she comes back bigger and stronger this year.
I feel like you're looking at her the right way, though, Dan. I thought she ran. I know it wasn't a fast race, but I thought she ran fine when they got her back on this surface and she broke her maiden from off of it. And, that could really work well in this race if this pace does get faster. Next start, she's in way too tough. And then they run her in that 25 claimer against Canadian Sweetheart, who these horses cannot beat a horse like that. She didn't run well in there, but she had no chance to win.
Completely the field is the number 8, More Gelato, and she showed some promise last year at Woodbine. She graduated. They ran her in a very tough $75,000 optional. I think all things considered against that field, she ran okay and really earned that buyer. But then while her performances have been solid, she hasn't been able to get to that number. And I wonder if maybe she's already shown her best.
Yeah, I wonder about that too, because I agree with you. Another one, though, she broke her maiden in a really slow race. And even after that, Dan, and she had run well in a couple of the races towards the end of the year. Nobody ever really bet her. She never really took any money in her races, despite it looked like her form was pretty good. She comes off the layoff last time against some of these. She's a huge price, and she doesn't really do anything. I just wonder how good she is.
Before we get to our top selections, please click the subscribe button for the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time for our Thursday race of the day. We are at Woodbine. We're both going with War's End Kiss. She was able to retain fitness by racing over the winter on dirt in the Mid-Atlantic region of the United States. I thought her comeback race was a little bit flat at Woodbine, but maybe the blinkers off, she can get the right trip.
Yeah, I thought the trip was going to be there for her, Dan. I think she matches up really well with this field with her good race anyway. And so, the other horse that I was really interested is the one Forest Maiden. I just feel like that horse is going to get betting here. And she might have to show some speed from the rail as she goes 7 now, and that could really work against her.
Michael will go 4168. I'll go 4657 in our Thursday DRF race of the day. Good luck.